What's up? What's up? What's up? What's going on? Welcome to This Week in White Supremacy. We are remote again. I'm on the road this time, and we're gonna, hopefully bring you the same. White supremacy still, it doesn't sleep. You know what I'm saying? Like, we might sleep, we might travel, we might go on vacation.
It's because we have a staff and we're able to do things like that. we have privileges. Some of which are light-skin privileges.
And there are privileges, and we're thankful for the support that we get at One Hood Media, that we are able to, have, again, that could speak to our competency as an organization and the fact of the work that we're doing. That's work that people want to support. We're thankful for everybody that's been supporting us, that might see this and support us. We were on, shout out to America Black Forum. I was on America's Black Forum. Miracle was on there speaking on her show Brunch with a Black Man. That show premiered. Our brother Big Phil, who collects comic books, specifically those that revolve around Black characters, was on there. But we did get mail from that, and we got people shouting us out because of that. So yeah, we're thankful to be able to do the work that we do despite what we're up against. But to my right, or in the upper box, we have our accountability coach.
In the upper box, but not in the upper room, because this weekend was a struggle.
Not yet in the upper room. Can you introduce yourself? Did I say I'm just Syriax? I'm co-founder and CEO of One Hood Media, and you are?
I am Miracle, aka Big Blessing with the Big Blessings, the accountability queen.
Come on now,
the mayhem of the movements. I'm just here, living my best life.
Definitely,
wanting everybody to live theirs.
Absolutely. And my brother.
Yeah, man. Slavery Avery is dead.
One of my favorites. Oh, he died. What, he died today, or?
He's been dead.
Oh, he's been dead. Yeah.
But break it down.
That was one of my favorite moments of our show. That the guy was actually named. There was a white man who I think he was associated with the Olympics, right?
Yeah, he was the chairman of the IOC.
Yes, and his nickname, the name they gave him was Slavery Avery, and I just
Slavery Avery is dead. And what's that break down to? The Supreme Asiatic Intelligence.
Oh, I didn't get it, bro. I'm totally lost. I hate Slavery Avery.
Do your knowledge, man. Do your knowledge.
Totally lost. Slavery Avery is dead.
Oh, I just got it.
Yes. See, come on, we're slow to the party, but come on.
The acumen of the hosts here.
Yes.
but it's also early. That can't be putting words together like that. Okay.
Yeah, and again, it's been a trying week, but we're here. We're ready to, I guess, defend ourselves against. we got to get ready.
I have been waiting for this moment because I am ready for the protest songs. I love me a good protest chant. You know, the war, what is it good for?
Yes,
I am ready. And I feel like this is now this is the movement. This is the moment.
Now
is the time.
Right. But again, and there's like one thing Trump is going to do, and one thing he's very good at is like a look over here moment. Like, he is the master of distraction. And while America's whole economy is falling apart, while because of a judicial ruling, the United States might have to give back $200 billion in tariffs they collected. All of these things are happening. What does Trump do? He renames the Department of Defense into the Department of War.
Hold on. I thought he ran. Now, correct me if I'm mistaken.
Yes.
I thought part of his campaign was no more wars, ending wars. Isn't it am I in like a parallel universe?
Not only did you think that, there were a group of Arabs in Michigan that thought the same thing. And got on the mic, and it was the peace ticket. We're not going to remember. Trump was trying to win the Nobel Peace Prize. I guess he was like, yo, they ain't going to give me the Nobel Peace Prize. Oh, I got something for you. Okay. If I can't get the Peace Prize, I'm going to get the War Prize.
Yeah. Remember that war? Remember that movie Lord of War with Nicolas Cage? Like
I never watched it.
Oh, it's a good film. Yeah.
Yeah, I heard.
Yeah, that's gonna be Trump. Trump is gonna be the Lord of War. Him and Netanyahu are like neck and neck to see who can create more damage.
I mean,
but Netanyahu, that's a tough candidate to beat.
Right now, and again, I mean, that's a whole show. Bro,
that's
on Netanyahu. They're evacuating Gaza City. Right, Netanyahu. They just bombed Qatar, right?
They bombed Qatar, Lebanon, Syria, and something else.
I'm just saying, this was like yesterday, and supposedly they bombed the people that were looking over Trump's peace plan, and figuring out if they were going to support this. So, I mean, obviously, if you wanted peace, you're not going to bomb the people actually trying to figure out the peace plan, right?
Because
but again, we know, that's what I'm saying. So Netanyahu has been clear since the beginning. He didn't want no peace negotiation, no peace talk. And to call it, not only did Trump say we're going to rename it the Department of War, but then Trump himself shared a post on Truth Social that said, I love the smell of deportations in the morning. Chicago about to find out why it's called the Department of War, and it's a picture of Donald Trump that was based in the movie Apocalypse Now, except it wasn't Apocalypse Now, it's Shy-pocalypse now. Miracle. What? How should we respond to the sitting president?
The first thing you're going to war with is the residents in your own country. You're declaring war on a city, in a state that is a part of your own nation.
Yes,
makes absolutely no sense. But again, unless you're trying to run guns and drugs and funnel all type of illegal activities through your department, would you first declare your own sovereign city an enemy? You go to war with an enemy,
right?
Makes absolutely no sense.
And it's not
we
just
are in the end times. We are at the end. We are I don't even know if we're even going to get an encore episode. You know what I mean? I feel like
no bonus episodes.
This is just this is
but again,
the next chapter is but what I fear is Chicago is about it, and you're talking about going to war with a group of people who've had to go to war with the Chicago Police Department that was literally running a Black site torture chamber where Black men were being kidnapped and tortured and forced to admit to crimes that they did not do. I don't think Chicago is going to allow anyone to come in and take its people and hurt its citizens. And this is one thing that people have to be very cognizant of, specifically looking at what happened in DC. First, it was ICE. Then it was all these other departments that were just yanking up Black men left and right. They let ICE be the thing that breaks your due process. But then they have all of these other entities so they can just go out and grab people. And they're about to go in and terrorize so many Black communities. I don't think people understand that. This is not about deportation. This is about police violence. It's about state violence. And it's about kidnapping people without due process. This is what they're trying to do. And so people are going to have to, what did he say? Stand back and stand by, right? They're not going to stand down.
That was his call to the white supremacists.
Also, I've heard Chicago be strapped. And so I don't think that trying to antagonize people, I think that's what he's trying to do. I think he's trying to antagonize the people of Chicago to have a violent response, therefore that he can then have an even more violent and aggressive response.
Right.
And I think people in Chicago are smart enough to see what he's doing. But it's absolutely ludicrous that you have a Department of War and the first people you go to war with is your own people. That's all.
Right. I mean, it's ludicrous, but like you said, it's right out of Trump's playbook. He did it in Los Angeles, right? He sent Marines into Los Angeles and basically declared war on Los Angeles. And according to a recent Supreme Court ruling, they said like they're like allowed, like the police or National Guard or ICE are allowed to just profile, you know, brown folks. We already knew they was allowed to profile black folks. They're just allowed to profile you, and if they believe because you're brown or you're speaking Spanish that you could be somebody that's not here legally, they're allowed to do that. But that was the first move, right? I mean, he sent Marines into a city. And I think when you look at like Los Angeles, Chicago, and New York City, because he didn't specifically say, I'm going to war against the black. He just said shy apocalypse. But when you talk about Los Angeles, Chicago, New York, you're talking about the cities in this country that are the most economically viable, even Washington, D.C., right? That produce a lot of the economy of this country. You know, when you look at the city of Chicago, and I'm originally from Chicago, has like a neighborhood called the Gold Coast, which is where a lot of the high-end luxury stores, the neighborhood that produces the amount of money, second to that is the Mexican neighborhoods of Chicago. And so again, you're not only talking about hurting people, you know, there's all of these conversations coming out of Washington, D.C. that says restaurant usage are down, right? Tourism are down. Even DoorDash, Uber deliveries are down, right? There's you know, even like tourism to the United States as a whole is down. So places like Las Vegas and other places, that tourism is down. So it is also negatively affecting the business and the economy of these cities. And so again, why would a sitting president want to, and particularly a quote unquote businessman like Donald Trump, and we can get into all of his failed business practices, right? Why would you want to do this and harm businesses? Because if you're somebody thinking about going to Chicago and you see, oh, it's about to be a shy apocalypse, are you then going to book your trip to go to Chicago or visit Chicago when now all of these people there, if you are somebody that maybe has a passport or a green card or not from here? So again, I don't know economically why would you even do this to an American city instead of making it like, no, these cities are a great place to come, visit, and spend money. That's what you think you would want to do, particularly if Trump is like the business president. Remember, it was the economy that a lot of folks said is the reason why they voted for Trump, because people, although Biden's economy was beneficial to businesses and corporations, to everyday people were hurting. And, you know, and we don't want to relive. I mean, Miracle has said it time and time again about, you know, Kamala Harris's message wasn't, I'm going to do something different. She said, I'm going to do things exactly the same. So a lot of people voted for Trump for his business acumen, and that's not working. Farouk, did you have a comment around the Department of War or the shy apocalypse that's, you know, and immigration is there currently? I will say before I come to you, Farouk, like shout out to, you know, Mayor Brandon Johnson and Governor Pritzker of Illinois were both saying we don't want Trump. They both were very strong in their denunciations. There was this video that went viral that showed like all these salt trucks kind of in Chicago that were together to like not allow, you know, all of this, these federal forces to come into a city. What say you, my brother?
It's, you know, I want to make jokes about this. Like my natural inclination of this when I seen it was to make jokes. And then I had to really like think about the terrors of this and the possibility of it, because I just, Miracle and I just spoke at City Council regarding much of the dangers of the attacks that these democratic cities are under, right? And how important it is to be mindful that the city we live in Pittsburgh, doesn't fall victim to the same things that these cities are falling victim to, right? Because democratic leadership in Black cities, predominantly Black cities, specifically cities that have organizations such as ourselves doing this work, are the ones that are on in the crosshairs for the Trump administration, right?
Particularly, and just to, not just, but also like cities with Black mayors, right?
Cities with Black mayors, right? Yeah.
Chicago, New York City hasn't been. He also talked about Baltimore being the city that's targeted in Washington, D.C.
Yeah. So the thing that made me weary about this was the Supreme Court ruling that basically racial profile on this federal level was now permissible, right? And this is just, a few hop, skips, and jumps away from overturning Plessy versus Ferguson, and which would have a cascading effect, which would take out Brown versus Board of Education, which in turn would take out the Civil Rights Act of the 60s, which in turn would remove birthright citizenship, which is the end goal. And I think this is the first step in that domino effect that the Trump administration is putting forward. I don't think he's being shy about it at all. For whatever, however you want to take that, he's definitely letting you know what type of time it is. But it does make me wonder, as you said, like on a business president, like you're trying to attack the economic hearts of these large cities. Like what's the back end? Like what is the end goal of trying to cripple the economic status of the three largest metropolitan areas on this continent?
Right.
So I you know what I mean? Well, outside of, of course, outside of Toronto, but you know what I mean? I don't
Mexico
get
City as well.
Yeah. So I don't really get where that leaves you in terms of an like a future or a campaign that you champion yourself of being this man of the people and dropping the price of eggs and milk. It's more unaffordable now. We make jokes about this on the show all the time. How, like, every time we go grocery store, how much everything costs.
Particularly if you want that beef. Like if you want that beef, it's the beef costs are very, very high. It's a high cost.
So you go to the restaurant, but where's the meats?
It's a high cost if you want that beef.
I get bison. So I feel you. Bison be like $12.
I'm on a liquid diet. I don't get any meat, so it's fine.
I'm just saying, but you're right.
In terms problem,
it is a personal problem. It is a personal and a problem. It's an affliction, if you will.
So here is even again. So you're talking about those attacks. This is according to what people are saying. The changing the name, because like when you change the name to Department of War, you have to change everything that formerly had the Department of Defense on it to Department of War. Just doing that can cost taxpayers $1 billion.
Just the name change.
Just the name change is an additional $1 billion.
It's not even approved, right? So Congress hasn't even approved the name change. So it's just like theatrics. But like they had this little work over here scraping the the letters off the wall,
with the
all this type of stuff. And it's just like, sir, no. This idea of like people really wanting peace and people just like, can we stop the killing? And we just get like more war, more violence. It's really not that surprising when you understand that he does not want to leave office. And in the United States, in our history, the one time that we allowed a president to technically be there more than twice was when we were at war. And it was, a little shaky for the country.
Right. Can I say one thing? One extra thing about this that is just so perplexing to me is that the talking point around this and renaming of the Department of War and all these other things, it's like you're so concerned with the crime rate dropping in these cities, in these safe streets, right? We need safe streets. The streets are safe. The statistics indicate that
safer
crime
than ever before.
Substantially lower than it's ever been before.
Yes.
Where is this energy for protecting the schools from mass shooters? Right? That's the conversation that needs to be had. Is like the streets are safe, but the schools ain't. That's the problem right there.
They don't want the schools to be safe because they want these children to work. They want these children outside laboring. They want the society as we know it to break down. They want the women in the home just birthing babies. They want the babies outside working. That way they can just pretend that they are men and have something to contribute to society. This is all this is these men don't have no skills, no jobs, nothing to contribute to society. and they just want to make the rest of us miserable because so they can feel good. Like they want all the women fired so they can force women to get married. They want all the kids out of the school because they're tired of their children being smarter than they are. It's just dumb. We do not live in an agricultural society. When we talk about going back into the 1900s and this industrial era, we don't need that. Like y'all putting these kids in factories when you're talking about in 3 years, AI is going to take over these jobs anyways. So it makes absolutely no sense how these people are really destroying every social fabric of society so that people can just like work for barely anything or be forced into being police officers or soldiers for technology that's going to come and replace us all in less than 5 years.
But it makes sense, Miracle. And you touched on it. It makes sense if you are trying to stay in office, but beyond 4 years. So if that's the issue, if that's what you want to do, the first city that you have to lock down is Washington, D.C., because that's the city where your office is. That's where your all of the people that work with you are. That's where the White House is. So if you're trying to stay in D.C. longer than 4 years, I have to show Washington, D.C. I can move these federal people in here. So if when he says I'm not leaving, when he does his big what was the movie? What was the movie? Right.
Wall Street.
Wolf of Wall Street. I'm not going. Like when he does that obviously people are going to rally and protest and all these things. But if all the National Guards, and then, okay, what are the other cities? Okay, what are the other major places that will probably be uprisings if Trump stays in office? LA obviously is one of those cities. Chicago obviously is one of those cities. New York is one of those cities. Baltimore is right next to DC. We got to make sure Baltimore's control. So when we're sitting here talking about why would he do this and ruin these economies, the only logical reason is he is preparing to stay in office beyond 4 years. And so he has to get these cities used to soldiers being there, like being harassed, like not going outside, being comfortable with American soldiers regulating your movement, because that's what Trump has in mind for the future of the United States.
All he had to do was just do a little student loan forgiveness, do another little stimmy round, right?
Right.
Pass some healthcare options, just make it so people are like, oh, I kind of like him. I wouldn't mind. You know how people with Obama, oh, Obama could be here another 4 years. I wouldn't mind it, right? You don't always have to use might to get your way and use strength to have power. Literally could have just been people's friends out here investing in the people. Instead of having Doge cut everything, he could have just had people just be like, invest here, invest here, invest here.
But
people
again,
like, okay,
Miracle,
well, we'll keep them around a little more.
But if you want to stay beyond that time, like let's get out, let's make sure our people are in these positions, right? Who are the agencies or the people that would offer some type of resistance? Okay, let's fire all of them. Let's get them all out of DC. Let's bring in our people in. I mean, again, Miracle, and how do we know this? And Farouk sent this article. You just had a Republican senator from Missouri do a speech called "What is an American?" So to me, think about this. Remember, it was maybe 5 years ago, 6 years ago, where they came out with that census data and say, check this out. In about 10, 12, 15 years, America is not going to be a majority white place. And clearly some meeting happened that we wasn't in because we Black people. And it seems like these are the moves, right? To keep America white, right? You talked about it, Farouk. Where are the predominantly Black and brown cities? We have to control them, push these people out of there because we want an American. And then again, like you said, this week, Senator Eric Schmidt did a speech called "What is an American?" An interesting side note is, he hired a man, this is Eric Schmidt, that was fired from Ron DeSantis' presidential campaign after he circulated a promotional video that included Nazi imagery.
It's always a man.
So Nazi imagery was like that. Obviously, for Senator Eric Schmidt, he was okay with that. He was cool with the Nazi imagery. But in this, what is an American speech? Let me find out. I'm trying to find his quotes in this speech because it was pretty interesting. At various points about the U.S. being, quote, our birthright. Right. Well, first it said he denounced fellow conservatives who support legal migration.
Right. Very manifest.
He don't want, if you do it right, he don't want you to come over here, right? Accusing them of aiding immigrants who he basically claimed to, quote, take the jobs, salaries, and future that should belong to our children. Then he said, America is our birthright. He described America as a nation of settlers, explorers, and pioneers. And he said, we Americans, the sons and daughters of Christian pilgrims that pour out from Europe's shores to baptize a new world in their ancient faith. So he's saying off top, this is America is the birthright for these white Europeans. And so anybody else, right? And then it's like, again, Miracle, like you said, what could they have done? Hey, we was just in Africa doing our own thing, building civilization, teaching mathematics and science. We wasn't bothering a soul, right? You came to get us. Like, so where's can there be some program to like give us our bread and send us back so we can, I'm with that. But you came to get us. But now, again, this is not a fringe political figure. This is a sitting senator saying America is a white country for white people, the birthright of white European immigrants, right? Not immigrants from anywhere else.
Miracle says it all the time. The Moors should have never taught people how to bathe.
Facts.
They should have never given nobody no science, no hygiene, no.
Should have left them into the dark ages. They were in the dark ages, and just left them in the dark.
Be here. But this also goes to show you, is what I've said before, is people got very angry when I said this, is this whole past 3 years, we have literally been conditioned to accept genocide via birthright. This idea that people should have their own, and if they need to have their own, they have the rights to kill and destroy anything in their path. And we were like, oh, that's just over there.
Right.
But when they're talking about niggas. Okay, let's be very clear.
Yes.
That man was basically Justice Taney in 2025 and was like, America is for white Americans and European descendants and not you colored folks. And he wasn't even doing spicy whites, off whites, lights. He was like, none of y'all belong here. So then what does that mean?
Right.
It means that
he wasn't saying, oh, you came from Argentina. No, did you come from Europe? No, you out of here.
Gone.
Yeah.
So now it means you then need a system to remove people. What system is now in place to identify people who are immigrants? How are you going to immigrants? Now the Supreme Court has said you can racially profile. He said white European descendants. None of us up here look like white European descendants. Absolutely I've said before, there are more undocumented Hispanic people in the United States of America than there are Black people, ADS, FBA, whatever you want to call. There are more technically of numbers of them than us. If there's a plan to get every single undocumented person outside of the United States, there is definitely a plan afoot to get every single Black person out. And this idea that we created America, that we have trillion, they do not give a damn when they do not want to see us. And that is what we have to wake up and realize. We are in a war for our very lives and our livelihood, not only for us and our children, but our communities, our neighborhoods now. And we start to have to acting like it. Capital B just did this report. And it was saying like just in the past 50 years, there have been over 500 Black neighborhoods that have disappeared in the United States of America. over 500 Black neighborhoods, over 500 Black communities for trains, for civic arenas, for concert halls, for gentrification purposes. We as Black people have been going through a slow, painful genocide and ethnic cleansing every single day in this country. And now it's time for us to be like, we actually need to be more proactive. We actually need to start fighting back and talking about this is our country because we are here. This is our birthright because we were brought here. This is our reparations. And nobody's going to take this away from us. If we choose to go somewhere else, that's of our choice. But you're not going to force us and drive us out from a land that you forced us to, create and be here for. Like,
but like you said, the way they do it now, because one of those disappearing Black neighborhoods is the neighborhood I currently live in Pittsburgh, right? East Liberty in Pittsburgh was, and I tell people, like, I live in a formerly Black neighborhood. It was a Black neighborhood. Now it is not. And how they force you out, again, they don't send the police. They make it economically impossible for you to live in these places. But while they're, in 45 years, while we've lost over 500 Black neighborhoods, now they're building white-only neighborhoods, openly putting together white-only neighborhoods. Do you have that video, John, of them talking about building white-only neighborhoods? And this was an article. I'm reading from an article from a newspaper called The Conversation. It says, an Arkansas group's efforts to build a white ethno-state forms part of a wider U.S. movement inspired by white supremacy. It says in 2023, a group calling itself Return to the Land established its first white-only community in the Ozarks Mountains of Arkansas. They followed with the second enclave nearby in 2025. Let's play that video.
No blacks, no Jews, no gays. High up in the Ozark Hills, in the state of Arkansas, dozens of people have been working hard, building houses and a new type of community. It's called Return to the Land, and it is a town open to white people only. They are millennials and Gen Z, and this is a new update of age-old prejudice.
What we've done here is establish a place where we have control over who our neighbors are, and that is just for the sake of preserving, our culture.
And that culture, effectively, we're saying this is a white culture, a whites-only place.
White American culture.
But what this sounds like is bringing back segregation. Is that a fair assessment?
It's free association. So we're not trying to keep other people down. This is a small settlement in the middle of the Ozarks.
But they are being kept out, even if...
you don't let everyone into your home.
Around 40 people live here.
Especially niggas. We can pause that.
Until this 2025, people just being settlers. It's just like ridiculous at this point. Ridiculous. But like, if I wanted to do an all Black neighborhood, if I just want to be like Miracle and her melanated,
Miracle and the Melanated Mamas.
Oh,
melanated mamas.
Miracle. Every February, we gotta explain why we have a Black History Month. And it's the shortest of the year. Why? Where's the White History Month? So again, like if we said, hey, we're going to build this community and it's Black only, they will probably be sending in these ICE federal officers to shut that down. And it's like, again, these white folks, it's not even a blip on the radar. And they're establishing more communities like this.
They said no gays cracked me up, number one, because I know at least 3 out of 5 of those people in that place is getting the pop at number 1, JK.
Yes.
But I think it just shows you like how stupid and arbitrary racism is, because and it's also a thing I keep trying to tell people, these are young people 40 and under who are doing that. Racism is not going away. This idea that only racists are these old fogies who are just keeping people down. Like, racism always continues. And you have a lot of younger folks who are bigots. But if they want to go out and till the land in the Ozarks, like, let them till the little land. But then what happens when somebody else wants to do the same thing?
Right.
And then what happens when people then want the government to respond? or they need to regulate, or they need to have social order. And also, a lot of these settlements have been also found to be a little cultish and places where sexual violence becomes the issue. Right. And so I do think that if people want to talk about free association, and I know a lot of people are talking about, let's go into the woods and build communes. I'm not that type of gay, so I don't do stuff like that. But like, if people want to build their own, like, okay, build your own. But I think it just has to be better regulated. People are going to need support systems. People like are building homes. Like, these homes are not structurally sound. All the stuff that is happening, if people think it looks fine. Right. It's all over. If you look on social media, if you look on, TikTok, all of these people are talking about, we're buying this land and we're building for our families. No, y'all are just trying to be settlers. And it's weird, and it does not work because it's not sustainable. Right. You have to have different skill sets. You have to have a diversity of crop. You have to have a diversity of food, a diversity of seeds to have a community. And people do not have that knowledge. And within 1 to 2 years, these settlements are falling apart. People are getting sick. People realize they're in a cult. And it's just like...
Right. And again, like, and also too, like, I mean, like, what you gonna eat? You just gonna have
like the raw milk,
a bologna sandwich every day? You don't want no Thai food. You don't want no, like, you don't want no, like, but again, it reminds me, Miracle, of like, it's this part of it, I think, it's because we don't tell the true history.
There we go. That part right there.
Like, so it's this idea of like, oh, in the 50s, everything was so great, and we had the nuclear family. Like you said, we don't tell them stories.
In the 50s, they were taking Coke for cough syrup, okay? We need to be like very honest.
Yeah, but like you said, like, we knew like there was mad child abuse taking place. There were mad domestic violence. Trump just came out and said like, oh, a fight with your wife shouldn't be a crime. We know there were mad domestic abuse and violence happening in the homes. And like you said, it wasn't being reported. It wasn't like women didn't have the agency that they have right now. Even children in some ways didn't have the agency they have right now, right? All that was accepted. All of these abuses were like an accepted part of life. Now you want to reestablish these areas, and you want to bring that back. And like you said, ultimately, if these white men want to be in charge and want to be able to do whatever the hell they want to do and not be held accountable, you know what I'm saying? For this is what Trump represents, right? Not being held accountable for your actual crimes. I mean, the man has actual crimes that he wasn't accountable for. It reminds me, was one of these trad wives that kind of came out, and she was like, I'm gonna be a trad wife. And then she became one and realized like, oh shit, like, I'm a prisoner to this man. I think he left her in another country or something and just like went somewhere else. And then she wrote this book on how bad it is. It's like, oh yes, like, things have changed because people went through real trauma. And so now we have projections in place for women and children and, all of these different things for Black people, for brown people. And what they want to do is take all that shit away. And they want to go back. They want to go back to where white men could do whatever the hell they wanted to do and not be held accountable for their racism, their sexism, their violence. And that's actually where we're headed towards.
Yeah.
Yeah. And go ahead.
No, when I seen this, there was such an interesting discourse online about it. And I thought that just naming it Return to the Land was interesting because my first inclination was return to whose land, what land, and why don't you go back to where you came from?
The land we took. Right.
Yeah, like, I'm like, yo, if it's a return to
Europe, my man.
Yeah, return to Europe. Like, go back then, right? If you loved it, like, if that's what you're returning to, go back to this, this Protestant lifestyle that got you expelled from the kingdom to begin with.
Right.
Go back to that, right? And then I started seeing people was like, oh, well, Black people can do it too. Well, actually, last time Black people created their own settlements, they were bombed. We had Rosewood. We had Tulsa. We had so many of these black settlements that were thriving. And if you look at the Killers of the Flower Moon, the Osage Nation, they had their own settlement that was infiltrated, and their people were murdered for their land and their rights and the oil and all these other things. White people have never let people of the global majority, indigenous people, black people, have their own things in the United States of America. So what are we returning to, right? And then so my other thing that it was so quizzical to me was how how is this sustainable, as Miracle had said, but also where is the law and order crowd with this, right? The law and order crowd where they're like, yo, you need police out there, you need all these, like, it's just a very anemic attempt of separatism, and I don't understand how. I mean, hopefully, maybe it's like the Roanoke colony. Maybe they just all go missing because they die of sepsis or dysentery, like some Oregon Trail shit. Who knows?
And again, like you mentioned, like, I mean, look at what happened to Move in Philadelphia. They just was trying to like be vegans and do little different things, and they dropped the bomb on the neighborhood.
Yeah.
So obviously it's very different when we say we want to go and do these things. It's going to be interesting, to see where that goes from here. But again, it kind of like goes with Miracle said. Come on, this is like the writings on the wall. And it is really, I think at this point, can we cue up that next clip? Because it's where are the black MAGA folks? Like,
right.
And
that's my thing. Where's black MAGA right now? Y'all niggas is real quiet.
Right, because remember, you just had like black unemployment rates now are higher than they've been in years. You had now, economically, it says there are more Americans out of work than there's actually jobs for them to have. That's the first time that's happened in years. You had, Trump and them dismantling Black history at the Smithsonian, other museums. So there was a video that kind of went viral of a Black person that voted for Donald Trump that called into a Black radio show, and this is what he had to say.
Well, there is one thing that I do regret. I regret that white conservatives don't understand that there is also other people of different races, different nationalities that voted for Trump, and the racism and the bigotry I see from white conservatives, it's appalling. I ain't gonna lie. That's the only thing.
But wait a minute. Hold on 1 second. You are disturbed by white conservatives, yet you're doing the same thing that they're doing with your vote. So what makes you any different?
You're right, Clay. Nothing makes me different. Maybe it took me voting for Trump to actually see that white people don't care who you vote for. If you're not one of them, or if you're not one of them, period, they're going to hate you no matter what. Not all white people. I don't want to say that.
Not all, of course not. But did you think you were one of them? Did you think you were one of the special ones because you, as a black man in Texas, you supported Trump? Did you think that?
No, I didn't think that at all. But I just was thinking in 2025, it's like, we're in 2025. We're not in the late 1800s, but something.
But why, brother? With all due respect, why were you so surprised? I mean, during the campaign, Donald Trump said that black people can relate to him more. I'm paraphrasing here, because he has a mugshot. I mean, during the campaign, he accused Haitian immigrants of eating cats and dogs. With all due respect, Jasper, how could you be so delusional?
I don't know, Clay. Hey, I was delusional, but, I'm not apologetic for my vote for Trump.
We can pause it. We can pause it right there.
You're delusional, but not apologetic.
I mean, you know what? It sounds like nothing beats a Jet 2 holiday, man. That's what it sounds like, man. Nothing beats a Jet 2 holiday. Like, yo, bruv. I don't know, man. I hate Earth, bruv. I hate Earth.
Yeah. But again, I mean, like,
live on Earth.
Right. And the one thing Trump was supposed to do, and he said it. Remember, he said, you vote for me again. I mean, the fact that people didn't realize he was a con man, but obviously they didn't. Jasper, another black, he said on day one, prices are going to go down.
Yes.
And prices have not gone down. In fact,
give it time. Man.
Well, no, because of the tariffs, prices has gone up dramatically. Like they've dramatically increased.
And they didn't understand how that whole tariff system worked. They thought they did. They thought they was eating. Oh, well, you know, the importer pays the exporter pays the tariff. No.
Listen, this is my theory. My theory will change as people will.
Okay.
People have been trying to find a way to move beyond the United States.
Yes.
And it started with the response to October 7th. And it has now used this tariff as a means to say, you know what, maybe the United States is not the world power that we want to be associated with. So how do you basically organically move away from doing business with the United States? You start to do your own thing because you just had, you know, what's my man in Russia and not my man, you know, Russia and North Korea and China.
North Korea, China, and India.
And she, yeah.
And India.
They were doing their own, they had their own little meeting. But they didn't even have like.
But Miracle, why, if you're Donald Trump, why would you want people to move away from doing business with the United States? I mean, the whole thing, right? You know, Trump just had this dinner where he had the tech people, the tech people there, and they were just kissing his whole ass, like just because they know, like, right, that's how you get things from Trump, right? You boost his ego, you kiss his ass and all of this, but it's like they also know that they're losing billions of dollars just based on stock market's responses to Trump and all of his tariff stuff. So like, if you're Trump, why would you want to make it more difficult for business people and for countries to do business with us?
Because you don't fathom the fact that people don't want to be around you. You don't, like, he really just thought that he was going to be big bully America and run through the stuff. And, you know, France is over there like, we're over. They bombing everything right now. That's not sustainable. You are now killing the whole entire economy. At the end of the day, you still need people to buy products. You need people to buy the products, to make the products, to market the products. If you are killing and bombing people, you are taking away people's bottom line. The war economy is not the economy that makes money anymore. The life economy is entertainment, art, you know, medicine. This is the things that people now use to make money. Trump and America are still stuck in the 1980s, and people are like, whatever. Marco Rubio, he had done an interview, and he was saying within 5 years, once BRICS gets established, nobody's going to even need to do business with the United States of America because they're going to be doing it, you know, outside of the dollar and maybe not even using the gold standard.
Right.
We are literally isolating ourselves globally, so nobody's going to want to be. And I say again, London was the only one who said Black people will take you after the election. Don't nobody want us. Nobody's coming to save us. We are isolated more than ever before. And now with this tariffs, you know, that man in Canada, he was pouring out the liquor. He was like, do not drink this American. I was like,
absolutely. Yeah. And they
said
were
like, this is an American product. I was like, oh,
I forget what
like
liquor.
They said, don't do it. I was just like, this is anti-Black.
One of the liquor makers, I forget which one it was, but it was one of them that supported Donald Trump, and their sales are down dramatically internationally, right? It said that, remember, Trump fired the job report person. And so it said in the revised jobs report that employers added 1 million less jobs than previously thought. So it actually was worse than the actual numbers that actually came out. So again, like, at this point, you just had this video where these farmers were on there damn near in tears, talking about how, like, they're going to have to go out of business. They were talking about farmers, multiple farmers self-transitioning because they just can't afford the prices in this current economy. And
wait,
again,
when you say self-transitioning, does that mean?
Yeah, that's, you don't, because if you say that word, they'll like ban or shadow ban videos. So if you watch videos are not saying that word. It's certain words that if you say, they'll automatically ban you. That's one of those words that they'll ban your video. But that's because, so all of these things are happening right now. And again, so what's going to have to happen? Remember, in the last Trump administration, what did he do? He cut all these farmers a check from the federal government because they're unable to. So now if you cut these farmers a check again, isn't that called socialism? That's not capitalism. That's not what you. So again, but how else is he going to keep these white, particularly these white men, on his side? And, you know, people are talking about how the leopards eat your face. I mean, this is what we're watching right now. And then the one issue.
Just the one issue?
No, I'm just saying the one issue that these MAGA folks was rallying around was that Trump was going to release the Epstein files. And this man is actively blocking the Epstein files from being released. He told other Republicans.
They're not that big of a deal anymore. No one cares about the Epstein files anymore.
Hey, bro, Trump told these Republicans that if they rallied around this, a Republican named Thomas Massie, who is one of the Republicans that are gathering and building with Democrats to release the Epstein files, he said if anybody supported that release, this is Trump's administration, said they will look at it as a hostile act to just release these files, right? This Thomas Massie guy actually named one of the people that was in Epstein's black books. And what is he? Who is he? He's a Republican mega donor. And one of the main Republicans he supported is Mike Johnson, the current Republican Speaker of the House, man. I mean, so even like Trump is gonna. So Mike, this is what Mike Johnson said. Mike Johnson said, "Oh, do you want to know why Trump was around Epstein?"
Yes. We would like to, Mike.
You didn't know why, Farouk? It's because Donald Trump was he was an undercover FBI informant. He was sent in to try.
Maybe that's how.
So your best, Lord.
So maybe that's how they're trying to tell us that Trump was a KGB operative.
Well, again,
the agents,
right? So that's why he was around Epstein and those young girls. He wasn't enjoying himself. He was recording and getting information for the.
It was like that episode of The Wire when McNulty entered the whorehouse. That's exactly what it was. That's exactly what this is like.
This is what they're actually saying. Mike Johnson said this on the record, and then they walked it back. Oh, we didn't mean it like that. Because how do you become an FBI informant in most cases? It's because you're a part of the crime.
Right.
You're part of the crime, and they get you, and they're like, yo, we're going to put you in jail unless you wear this wire, and then you up here wearing a wire. It's because you're part of the criminal conspiracy. So if you're an FBI agent, well, why would you agree to that? Unless you was on the island. Miracle, you
tell these niggas they never committed no crimes before.
I just
never see. I wouldn't say that for they never was held accountable for the crimes.
The crime.
We was held accountable for the crimes we committed. They weren't held accountable. I'm coming to you, Miracle, because you did see, and shout out to again our Representative Summer Lee, our Congressperson has been leading the efforts, particularly to give a platform to victims. You've seen now the victims are saying they got to come up with their list. They're like, if Congress ain't going to release your list, we going to release our list. We going to put our list together. All these victims were in front of the White House. Miracle, where is this going to go?
It's about to get real messy, but I think I had seen a tweet and it said, I think it's time for us to recognize that the President of the United States is actually being children and no one's really going to care about it. I feel like the Epstein files are going to get released.
Yes.
There are all type of crazy rumors out there floating about who's there, what's redacted, what's not. There was also a report of this man that said that all the Republicans were going to be redacted and protected. So people know leaks are forming. I do think that in a month we're going to be in a totally different. It's not a Lou Ratchet video. I heard your man's. I seen your man's. Like, what's going on? So I think that it's something that's going to be happening. Right. But also, I do think it's very weird that they sent redacted files, and it's like y'all just send the files over. If there's nothing to hide, just send the files over.
Miracle, you had a person who's working currently with the Department of Justice, right? He was on. I guess he was on a date. He was on videotape saying that what we're going to do is remove all the Republican people on the Epstein list, leave in all the Democrats, and just put that list out. He's on video saying this. NBC News filed a petition to release some of the names of the Epstein file, and the Department of Justice blocked it, right? And, you know, when Thomas Massey was speaking, he was saying that according to what they said, the reason that Ghislaine Maxwell is in a minimum security prison is because she agreed to, quote, keep quiet. That's how deals work. And so again, so to me, if you turn around as a MAGA person and say, oh, it don't matter, then you know, oh. So when you was talking about release the Epstein files, you kind of like what you said, Miracle, you really didn't care. You really don't care about pedophiles being in positions of power as long as they're people that you cheer for. Okay, that's good to know. You didn't really care about protecting children and protecting women, because here go these, the victims were on Capitol Hill. They went. Were you there? Were you there to support it? Were you there with your MAGA channel? Did you cover it? Did you talk about it? Oh, you really didn't care about protecting women and children. You just want to cheer for your God. Right? You just want to pump up the man that you say you love, which is Donald Trump. I mean, that's where we're at right now. Again, Trump, Wall Street Journal published a letter that they said Trump wrote where he signed his name to denote care, and he sent that to Jeffrey Epstein for his birthday. So now the Jeffrey Epstein estate provided the actual letter. The signature is the same as Donald Trump's other signatures. And you're just going to believe this man saying like, nah, it wasn't me. It wasn't me. I mean, somebody needs to remake that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, so again, like, are they going to, if a handwriting expert says, no, this is Donald Trump's signature, oh, somebody, I don't know, man. Just like you said, we're in a, it's wild. It's wild times right now. You know what I'm saying? It's wild, wicked, white times.
A wicked white time is the title for this show. A wicked white time.
Wild, wicked, and white times. You know what I'm saying? Man. Time for a Jet 2 holiday. We need to Jet 2 our ass to another planet.
Listen, speaking of wicked whiteness, I think it's just absolutely disrespectful for people to run for office whose job it is to hear from the people that they serve.
Yes.
And when they hear from the people that they're supposed to serve, say they're intimidated or scared to make a decision.
What color were those people, Miracle?
You know, speaking of, look, I got one more good month,
Miracle,
of being.
Do you want to hear some wicked whiteness, Miracle?
What?
A former Cracker Barrel employee alleges that she was verbally and physically abused by her white coworkers.
Well,
amazingly, a black person who worked at Cracker Barrel, and according to her, they referred to her as a burnt biscuit.
Oh, wow.
They called her a burnt biscuit. That is nuts.
I'm suing. I am suing.
She's suing. So shout out to her. Hope she said they called her the nappy, the N-word, a bunkie, but again, like this is what is being cultivated and crafted right now. You know what I'm saying?
Just like too much. That Lord, but my thing is like, how did she find out? Well, like, did they say it to her, or was she like overhearing it?
I don't know. Again, yeah, because if you call me a burnt biscuit, it's going to. I mean, you probably would not refer to me as that.
We're actually the biscuit color. We are the color of the biscuit.
We're uncooked. We're uncooked biscuit.
I'd say lightly buttered. You know what I mean? The fluffy
dough. Biscuit dough. But anyway, I mean,
dough is crazy.
Again, that's where we're at. But like you said, Miracle, I mean, obviously we're here. We're going to continue fighting and advocating for our community. But this, like, we can see. And again, did I think we would get here this quickly? I did not. But if we wasn't preparing before, we have to start preparing very different. You know what I did today?
What's that?
I filled out my global entry application. Like, yo, I'm trying to get smooth.
I'm waiting on my interview, man.
Smooth about it, this bad boy. Like, this place is getting crazy. So anyway, do we have, do you have a book there for us, Farouk? Do we have a white pages that you can?
There's a whole bunch of books behind me.
I mean, do we have a white pages? Oh, you know what? I got one. I'm at a conference called the Next Narrative Summit. I'm in Miami, Florida. Shout out to Trabian and the Be Me community, and the book that they gave all of us, written, like, I guess it came out 2 weeks before he was assassinated, is Where Do We Go From Here?
Oh, wow.
By Dr. Martin Luther King. Chaos or community? Where do we, and if there wasn't we're on the brink. Chaos, it's chaos right now. And we trying to build and find community. So Martin Luther King, Where Do We Go From Here? Is our white pages, forward by Coretta Scott King. Chaos or community? Man, we have anything coming up in One Hood?
Chaos.
Well, there's something coming up, right? Something.
What?
You know?
There's always stuff happening, you know, maybe in the world.
You know, it's Virgo season. A little something coming up, right? Is it a celebration for you, brother?
Oh, I didn't know what you were going to do. I didn't know what you were doing. Yeah, my birthday's on Tuesday. You know what's crazy? I don't know if I should be upset or laugh at this. My dad wished me happy birthday today, and I'm like, you're not even close, nigga. Like,
he got the month right. He was within 30 days.
Yeah, so,
crazy.
You know,
crazy.
But yeah, so my birthday's on Tuesday, so I'm actually taking a nice trip to the
motherland. You should.
So I will not be around for a while.
To the what?
To the motherland.
Oh.
As you should.
Yeah, exactly.
Do we have, I know like the National Voting Registration Day is September 16th. We'll be doing something. Oh, well, okay. Come on. Yeah. National Voter Registration Day and celebrating Farouk. Is there anything else? I know we'll be doing stuff at One Hood to register folks and get people involved. Is there anything else we have coming up, Miracle?
We have some art events coming up and happening. We want to save the date for October 21st. There's just like a lot of things that we have, but we also just want to remind people that September is Suicide Awareness Month, and we know that is an affliction that is really ravaging our Black community, even like here in Pittsburgh. We have our local Northside community is deep in grief right now, and so we just want to remind people to take care of themselves, to show up for each other. That suicide prevention is not just calling 988, but it's making sure that people have mental health care, mental health support, food, housing, shelter, places to go, therapists to talk to, and lives without trauma. And so you see a lot of organizing that we're doing. We've been at City Council, this week, next week, so every Tuesday and Wednesday, just go down to City Council, County Council, that is where you'll find us really advocating for a lot of policy changes and decision making. So again, that's where we're going to be at. A very big day tomorrow for inclusionary zoning. So we'll see a lot of people down there for like 5 hours tomorrow. But a lot of work that we have. So we're moving it. We're trying to make some things shake. And those are some of the events we have. And then we have a couple artivist events coming up, and those are going to be like really great. And so just making sure you're following us on our social medias.
Yes, follow us on our social media. If you want to send us some blackmail or communicate with us, go to info@onehood.org. That's the number onehood.org. Send us questions, comments. We appreciate them all. And we will see you all again next week, hopefully with a more positive, upbeat, maybe no, we'll see.
Probably not.
If we're here next week.
Yeah,
you say?
Right. If we're not in jail.
After we celebrate Baruch, we'll be back, and you know what I'm saying, it's gonna be better. It's gonna get better, isn't it? Miracle, isn't it gonna be?
I mean, it's the only thing you have is hope, right? That's the elders say. You've got to keep hope alive. Keep hope alive. So we're gonna hope. We're gonna manifest.
Hope alive. We're manifesting hope. So keep hope alive until next week. This week with I'm almost said this week in white supremacy.
I guess we're getting fired.
One